Hey guys, Footy Manager TV here, and today I'm back with another Best Players in the Future video. Today I'm going to be focusing on left wingers. Please leave your comments which positions else you want, and after I do all positions, leave your comments on a series I could do with Best Players in the Future. Just it doesn't have to be in this save. I could write a new save, try and build with some Best Players, or just leave your ideas in the comments. I really want to see, because this does get a good response. People do want to know how to find the best young players, and that's something I want to do, maybe even like in an actual career series. So please leave your thoughts what I could do within that. But today, moving on, and of course the big man himself, Neymar, is the most valued at Barcelona. No doubt, it's simple as that. Neymar is the best rated in the game when he gets to this age. He's a beast player. It'll be very hard to sign him, unrealistic to sign him as well. You see, for Barcelona, he does put in a big amount of goals every season. He's been getting 20 every season, so that's pretty much the evidence that you should, if you have the money and he wants to come to your team somehow. I'm not sure how. Sometimes in a save, it might be different in your save. He might not get played for whatever reason. Barca might sign someone in his position. So if you're in the situation to sign him, whenever, he's definitely, you would go for him. Got the great attributes, as you know, but I don't need to talk about him too much because you know his undoubted quality. Same with Eden Hazard. No doubt he'll be probably a bit cheaper to sign in, or more realistic to sign in the start of the season, like start of your career, the first season. If you can sign him, no doubt he'll be good. He scores less than Neymar. That's why I want to compare these big players as well. Neymar obviously scores more, but Hazard, he plays well. He doesn't have to goal or assist to have an influence on the game, but these are really big money signings. I want to get them through more quickly so I can get through to more unique signings, players you might not know about. So Julian Draxler, he would be probably more willing to leave than others, and he's got pace as well, 17 pace. I'm not sure what it starts as, but he's good on both feet as well. He's got preferred moves as well. Look at this. He's plays on two, dwells on the ball, cuts inside, likes to switch ball to the opposite flank. So he's naturally left winger. That's a position, like I think in FM 2013 he was more centrally, but of course in real life he plays there. So he's got great long shots, 19, pace, dribbling, everything is great. He's got flair as well. And he's played very realistic, or not really, he's played often for Germany, 41 caps, which is good to see for him, and still heaps more to come. Could reach the big 100 mark. Yeah, he's in the German national team along with the next guy, Marco Royce, Germany. Let's just check out their team. They're full of superstars. If you see, most of them are from Bayern Munich and Dortmund. You can see there. They've got a big team. Definitely one of the best out there, but we're not focusing on Germany today. Oh yeah, and that's one thing I might do, how national teams look, best national teams in the future. We'll see. But anyway, Marco Royce, of course, eventually he would have moved to FC Bayern. And yeah, he's like good already. He's not really a younger player, but he's someone, he starts like a young age for a good player, if that makes sense at all. Javier Pastore from PSG. A big player, of course, solid player, does get the job done. He can play left midfield. He's natural as a left midfield or left winger. He's not someone with explosive pace, but he's an experienced player. He gets the job done. He knows, yeah, he's a very, like, I'm trying to explain him, like, he's not a pacey player. He's got other things to his action. Like, he's more of an accomplished passer than someone who's going to get past his man. He can put good crosses in, and that's the explanation. I really can, actually, I want to compare the goals. That's what I should do. The goals and assists, that's what you want to look. And look, yeah, that's what I mean. He doesn't score as much goals, but he comes in powerful, like, with the assist amount. Second season, put in 30 assists. Amazing. Amazing level. Next up, we're getting down now to less popular players, even though they still are. Iker Muniain, the Spanish left winger that comes from Athletic, has a very good season for them. Then moves on to PSG in January, or the next season. Not in January, sorry. Because I was just confused. He didn't play much matches. They didn't give him a start. Second season, just coming back into the team, and he hasn't really got going, if I'm honest, in France. So that's something you got to keep in mind. If you're PSG and you're looking to sign him, or even from another country, he may not do good. You got to keep that in mind with signings. That's why you got to scout them a lot to make sure they're the right man for you, until you splash the cash for them. But Bernard, who's made his way to Roma, what's he done? Nothing to just at Shakhtar. You would expect him to do well, and then of course after just dominating Man City, you would expect Man City to come in and pick that Brazilian up, and he actually does well for them. But then Rome, I'm surprised Man City would have been willing to let him go, especially less than we bought him for. So yeah, that's really surprising. He did well for Man City, then they let him go. He did well in the Premier League, so that could be a signing for you if you're looking for a classy Brazilian for your team. Next up, Lorenzo Insigne. I actually really like this guy. He's good dribbling, he's good pace, he's got agility, very high agility. Let's just see what he does in terms of goals and assists. Starts at Napoli, has a very good season, 10 assists and 6 goals. Then moves on to Monaco. You know, they have the big money, so they would have signed someone. But he doesn't get amazing goals and assists compared to the others, but he does get good ratings. I suppose he gets a decent amount, but nothing over the top compared to the others. After costing 26 million. And right now, Bale, he's still at Real Madrid, so generally his value would just slightly go down compared to others who have moved for big money. But he's still on big money, of course, 300k per week. And he still puts in good performances, but recently hasn't been playing too much. I'm not sure why. Real Madrid might have made signings or something, but I don't know. To me, Gareth Bale, I'm not sure if he lost pace or something. Only 14 pace, it's not heaps. To me, he doesn't look like that high amazing level if I'm comparing with Neymar and Hazard and the guys I've shown previously. He doesn't seem as good as them. But that's just me. Like, his pace is, it might have gone down. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that's just my quick review on him. Next up, going into more younger players who start, Victor Fischer. Of course, you'll know about him, a good young prospect, 23 years old right now. You see he's got very good pace. Like, for me, he would be as good as Bale, if not better, because of his pace and good dribbling, first touch, all of that. Starts at Ajax. Took him a couple of seasons to really do well. Third season, comes into his own, scores 10 goals and 6 assists. And then he moved on to AC Milan and scored, 10 goals first season. That's pretty good, but hasn't got anything decent in terms of average rating. But they picked him up for fairly cheap, just under 6 million. So keep that in mind around the third season. Next up, Son Heung-min, now at FC Porto. Surprisingly, he's made a bit of a journey. He starts in Germany, and then he's moved on to Manchester United, and then now at Porto. So if you see his journey right here, starts at Leverkusen, does really nothing. Next season, again, I'm really surprised. What would have made Manchester United go for him for 18.5 million? There's no evidence to say he'll be a really consistent goal scorer. You'd have to dominate in the Bundesliga to warrant signing for Manchester United, and he doesn't do anything at all at his time there. First season was okay, scored 11, but his average rating wasn't amazing. Like, when you play a team like Manchester United, if you're a decent striker, you're going to score some goals. But after that, he just failed pretty much, and then found his way to FC Porto and scored 2 goals in 2 games, which you would expect. Like, you just have to be a decent striker to score at that level to be a good player there. Next up, Andrei Yarmolenko, now at Leverkusen. This guy has been a very good player last couple of Football Manager games. If you check out his stats, never really dominates in terms of average rating, like first couple seasons. This season, he steps up definitely. What's his age now? 28. He doesn't do too amazing for me, just judging from those stats. So now going even into more unknown players, Vertie Neo, a Brazilian. He's only got 8 first touch. That actually starts really low. I believe it starts like 4 or 5 or something. I'm not sure why that is. I haven't really watched him play in real life, but he's a good long shot taker. I believe a team would have signed him on a free. Yeah, he's available for a free at some time because I tried to sign him in Wolves, but he obviously wouldn't want to go to them. I had to pay a lot. Well, he would want to come if I did pay the amount, but yeah, we didn't. He starts at CSKA, doesn't do too amazingly. Did okay, okay for a young player. Then moves on a free transfer to Atltico Mineiro in the Brazilian league, and he dominates there. Then moves to AC Milan for 8.5 million. Does okay, but then again moves for a free transfer to Juve, and then starts to dominate. Scored 14 goals so far in this season, so he is definitely stepping up. He's always a danger from the long shots. Next up, Ruben Garcia at Atletico. He would start like 19 or something, or 20 in the game. He's got pace, a good, very good dribbling ability. Check out his information. He moves into channels and shoots from distance. He's weak on the right foot, so he's probably not an influence with cutting in and shooting with his right. Not very good. Starts at Levante, yeah. First couple of seasons, doesn't do too much. Third season is where he comes into his own and dominates, getting heaps of goals and assists. And the season following that, he continues with the assists and then made his move to Atltico. Surprisingly, he didn't kick on with them. Maybe just gelling with his teammates and all of that. That will be the main thing, I would guess. So now we'll move on to the next guy. So he definitely dominates after a few seasons. So keep him on your mind. Next up, Eugene Konoplanka has moved to Barcelona. A big money transfer, but of course, you would imagine he'll collide with Neymar, and you can't. He signed actually really early in this save. He had one season with Dnipro, and then a not amazing season. I'm surprised Barca signed him, if I'm being honest. And then he moved to Barcelona B because he wasn't getting games. Pretty much a fail, to be honest. A bad move. That's why you got to make, as a player, you got to make smart career choices. And it definitely was not one for him. He could do like a decent level, like in Premier League, like maybe a mid-table team or something, but not Barcelona level. He's not that good, especially with Neymar. He can't fit in the team with Neymar there, but he's decent. Good dribbler, but he just could not simply fit into the team. So next up, Ola John. He's now at Liverpool. He's got the pace. He's got flair. Technical ability, first touch and dribbling, crossing, can put in the crosses, but also he's a right winger as well. You might find him on my right winger best players in the future. So he's made a bit of a travel, starts in Benfica, has a very good season, so then he moves to the Eredivisie for Ajax for a cheap fee, then moves to the Premier League for Newcastle, doesn't do too much, and not really sure why Liverpool signed him for that much, if I'm honest. He did nothing really amazing, not heaps of goals, not heaps of assists, doesn't do amazingly for me, but obviously at a big team, you think he probably will. So now Andre Schurrle has moved on to Real Madrid. He proves as a very, very good player in this year's game. Got heaps of pace, great stamina and natural fitness, which is very important for me. I see that very important. He's a great long shot taker as well. He works hard, got work rate of 18. Such as Chelsea, of course, doesn't score, doesn't really get much of a chance at Chelsea. As I said, same position would have been as Azar, and he wouldn't really come, but he's never really scored so much goals, so you got to keep that in mind. His composure starts not amazing, so that could come into play. Next guy up, Ladislav Krejci. We're going more or less known now. His jumping reach is pretty poor, natural fitness is poor as well, but Arsenal signed him, so he must be of some quality. They would have saw in him. Starts at Sparta Prague, gets a pretty good average rating, if you ask me, a 7.32. You've got to be quality to get that. Then signed to Bayern. He didn't really get a chance, and then he went to their reserve team, and he did dominate in the reserve, which led to Arsenal signing him. He dominated for Arsenal, and eventually he becomes a very good player at Premier League level. So I would advise signing him after a few seasons, no doubt, if he's available for you to sign, or a lower Premier League team to sign at the start. Next up, Anton Griezmann, the French player at Southampton right now in the game. He's a very good free kick taker, good technique, doesn't have heaps and heaps of pace, but okay amount. He's got flair as well, so let's see what he does in terms of assists and goals. Okay, he signs for Real Madrid in the first season, and again, another wasted talent. Did not play much matches. He played a total of 9 for the first team. 9 games, 9 league games in 3 seasons for them. And then he moved on to the reserve team to get some more games. And then eventually would have moved to Southampton, and he's done really well. He's done not okay, in between okay and well. Like, he's done good. I don't know. In between bad and good, I don't know, really. He would be a good signing for one of those mid-table Premier League teams. That's pretty much what I was trying to say at the end of the day. So, we'll move on to some more players right here. Okay, we've got another Brazilian in Dudu. Let's see what he's done. He's got pretty good pace. He's fast. Good mental attributes. He's got flair, technique, dribbling as well. So that's good. He's left winger, of course, but can play in more other attacking midfield positions. Starts off in the first season, scores 5 times, and then just improves his average rating generally. Then moves on to CSKA, I should say, Moscow. And yeah, he does well for them in terms of average rating. But I'm not sure. It's hard to gauge if he'd be good for a Premier League team. I'm not sure, because I'm only judging of what I can see. Next up, Dusan Tadic, who's 29. He starts a bit older than most of these other players I'm trying to show, but he's a good player if you want to sign him. He stays in the Portuguese league for most of the time. Starts at FC Twente and does well, so that led to that move, and he's really dominated there. And as I said before, if you're a good player, you'll dominate in that league. This guy, of course, we've got a couple here. We've got Sadio Mane from Valencia. Let's see what he does and what kind. He's pretty strong and has pace, so he'll be good. He's strong, pace, has first touch, dribbling, good technique, off the ball flair. So that I would think he would score decently. Okay, not notes, career stats. Thank you. He does okay in terms of his performances. He's moved to a lot of clubs. Starts at Salzburg, has a good season, scores 8 times, assists 9 times. A second season, he moved to Stoke for 3.3 million, so that's fairly cheap. You can pick him up fairly cheap, and he does good at Premier League level, which not forced, it led Chelsea to sign him and didn't even give him a chance. I'm not sure if injuries played a part, but yeah, they didn't give him a chance at Chelsea, which was disappointing. And then he went to a lower fee for Valencia, so there could be a chance during your save you can pick him up for really cheap, and he would be worth that cheap fee, in my opinion, with what he can do. He proved that Stoke he can score consistently and yeah, do well for the team. Danny Welbeck, who's currently injured. I'm not managing Manchester United. I just took over them for the purpose of this save or purpose of this series. Danny Welbeck, let's see what he does. Obviously at Manchester United for the whole time. Nothing. He's not an amazing striker in the game, if I'm honest, really. And what lets him down is like anticipation, I guess. He's not a good striker at the end of the day. Like, that's the short answer to that, and you saw by the goal scoring records. Next up, this guy who's actually on loan, Julian Brandt. He's only 21, so he actually starts really young. He would start like 17 or 16 in the game. Where does he start? Yeah, he starts at Bayern. Bayern 2, their reserve team. He played a couple games, then went out on loan to Sporting to go. They want him to get some more regular games, which he did. Then he came back next season, still played for the reserves. And he's still, yeah, he hasn't broken through at Bayern. He's just gone out on loan. But it looks like he can be a good player, can still grow even more. So if you're Bayern, he's definitely some guy you just want to consistently make sure he's getting appearances for his, if you're loaning him out or whatever. Yeah, but he's got a good potential. He looks good. He's gone up to this value already. He's up at that value without any, he hasn't really had any consistent performances, if I'm honest, and he's already that value. So that's something to keep in mind. Next guy up is Yvonne Paris, who's not really a young player in the game, starts like a 24 or 25, and he's an experienced player, but he doesn't do well at all, like judging by his average rating. In the Bundesliga for Wolfsburg, doesn't do too much. Then for Napoli, same situation. So I probably wouldn't advise him as a signing if it's a big signing as well. Next up, Christian Teo. He's moved on to the Premier League now. You know, starts at Barcelona, of course. He's got pace, and then he's got the decent mental and technical attributes. Let's see what he does. Does not do much at all. He moves to AS Monaco because, you know, Barcelona's talent, especially, as I said before, with Neymar moving there. And they signed Griezmann early as well, so it would have been hard for him to make the grades. But he did for AS Monaco, but he did not cut it, if I'm honest. They played him as much as they can first season. They gave him a chance, but he just scored 5 times, not good enough. Then in the second season, he slowly just showed his true quality pretty much. He wasn't good enough for the team, and then he only scored 1 goal a season, and he really struggled, and they kind of ruined him. And now he's moved on to Liverpool, but he's not really shining. He's doing okay so far, but he's still got time to go with his time at Liverpool. Next guy up, Marco Sanchez. This guy will no doubt be a regen, so I just showed him just for the purpose if you want to see a regen. But now we move on to some more players. Marco Vereen, he's a bit older. I'll try and skip these players you know already. Cedric. Let's see, I'm not sure if I know too much about him. He's got pace as a left winger, of course. He's moved to Chelsea, starts at Betis, who signed on, I believe this guy signed for really like a cheap fee. I'm not sure. More people might want to shed light on that, but I believe he signed for them. Well, he signed for free, obviously. That's cheap. And yeah, he went to Chelsea, but again, he's being a victim of not being played much, and yeah, he's getting his career ruined, really. Next up, Yannick Wildschut. If you're available to sign this guy, he's got pace. He's a stronger, pacey player, so he could be good. And he's at Zenit St. Petersburg right now. Starts at Vereen. And yeah, I'm just trying to see what he does here. He doesn't do too much. If he doesn't dominate for Zenit, I doubt he'll dominate in other top European leagues. Pablo Therapy, I remember this guy from my time with Arsenal in FM 2013. He was a good player, but right now he's at Shakhtar. He's a good player though. You can see he definitely dominates for them. He did for Betis after moving from Getafe. And then he moved, for big money to Shakhtar, and he's been showing his quality, especially this season. 7.89 rating. He's showing what he can do. And now Stephan El Shaarawy, who's moving to a player. He's moving to Monaco, of course. Have they made the big bid for him? Okay, for 0, for free. Ooh. Signing for El Shaarawy on a free transfer. That is a dream come true, no doubt, for Monaco. As he's just gone, every season he's gotten better for AC Milan. He's just starting to score heaps of goals now. Maybe just wanted a different challenge in his career. And he moves on to a free transfer. Monaco just found the beast there for free. Next guy up, Takashi Inui. He's a bit older. He's like 29 now. He starts like 25, I would imagine. Doesn't score heaps of goals. Not really. He's not a signing I would recommend for a top team. So move a bit down now. I'll try and show you some players now that you probably wouldn't know. You know about him. Abai Gomez. He seems less known, at least to me anyway. He's got very good free kicks, 19. Long shots, 18. A very good player technically. You see what he does. He scores and assists an okay amount. Not an amazing player, but he does the job for the team. He does what he needs required of him, but he is not like amazing player by any stretch of the imagination. Kevin Erickson. Is this guy a regen? He's a regen, so don't worry about him. He won't be in your save, so please don't worry about them. They're randomly generated. Alexander S. Vine, the FIFA 13 beast he was. So, 27 now. Looking at his attributes, not amazing at all. Starts in Nuremberg. And then they signed him for a free transfer, but not really. He's not that level. We're not sure why Vertie signed him, if I'm honest. And he's not really that quality. And here's one guy people probably want to know about, Sagaria Bakali. He's got the potential, starts very young in the game, 17. He's got that potential and all of that. So let's see what he's done. Obviously still at PSV, so he stays there for quite some time. No one really goes for him, so you might want to wait till this time to see. And if you see his value, you probably still have to pay like a 20 million or like the high teens for him, so I'm not sure if it'll be worth it. You can't tell if he's at good enough Premier League level or not. So now Tommy Intz, of course, he'll be, guys, if you're a Premier League team, you want to sign him because he's homegrown. So he starts at Blackpool, moves to Crystal Palace. He's actually a very consistent performer. Even though he's been Champions League, or Championship, I should say. He's been at the Championship, so he would have had good games there, but he's held his own in the Premier League, and he's moved back to the Premier League now for Fulham. Played consistently, scored some goals, and assisted some. So he's an okay player. We'll move on now to the next guy, but we're going down in the value right now, so there's not going to be amazing players here. So I think I might leave it here because, as I said, we're going under that 10 million right now, and there isn't going to be really high quality players. I'm just going to search through to maybe find some younger types. They have to be like under 25 or something if they start really young. This guy, Ante Rebic, the Croatian international player, again, isn't amazing, but he's got good dribbling. He moves to Fiorentina, starts first season, does really well for them in the first season, scores 13 times and plays really consistently for them, and then moves to Hanover, and still he needs to gel with his teammates and all of that before he becomes a decent player. Move on to see anyone decent. A lot of older types here. Matthias Otret, the France player, hasn't played for France though, so he's not really of a quality at all. Doesn't do anything. And when I get to the end of these episodes, you see there's not great quality in the teams. But here, Gianluca Capri, or Caprari, again, he's got pace, some strength, decent technical attributes, stays at Roma for the whole time, goes on loan once to Sassuolo. He does well for them and still, but he's not of the required quality, I should say. One season, he actually does, he does pretty good for the games given, but they probably sign some better players. And it's going to be, maybe he's coming into a first team player now, I would imagine. The next guy here, Carrasco, Yannick Ferreira Carrasco. He would start like 19 or 20 in the game. And he's played for heaps of teams. Where does he start? He starts at Monaco. And then he goes out on loan to Granada, plays a bit, then goes out on loan to Deportivo, where he starts to show his quality. Back to Monaco. After that quality, they wanted to give him some games, but he wasn't of the quality. And then he went back to the reserves. Then he moved on to Bordeaux. And now, yeah, he's playing well this season right here. He's definitely coming into his own, coming into a quality player in League One. So he probably doesn't score too many goals, but he's good assisting for goals because finishing only 9. He could be a good signing if you're like a Premier League team mid-table. I would go for him, no doubt, if he wants to come, of course. So looking for Raheem Sterling. Liverpool fans, you want to see how good he is, but now he's at Stoke. So he doesn't look too amazing for me. Of course, he's got pace, and that's pretty much it, and dribbling and crossing ability. And yeah, he's a right winger. Might be in that series of videos. Yeah, in the videos of right wingers, but yeah, he didn't really get a chance at Liverpool, if I'm honest. And yeah, that plagues his development as well. You got to be careful of that. If he went to a different team on loan for a couple of seasons, he might have gotten better. So anyone else, Sterling, you're not going to look at the 28-year-old. That's where that really old 19. This guy will be a regen for sure, or he would have had to be 15. So I'll just check him in case, but I doubt. Yep, he's a regen. And as I said, they'll be different in your game. And now getting to this stage is not really going to be high quality. You got Jean Kouassi here. See, we're getting to this low quality where they're not of any quality. So this is pretty much, I covered the best left wingers in the game. I'll just go back to the top. And it's guys you would imagine at the top there. But there's a couple others you could probably get a bit cheaper, like Fisher, Bernard, Muniain. There's the guys you probably would go for if you have a bit less money. Insigne as well. And Vertie Neo, you can sign him on a free transfer on some stages. Ruben, Garcia as well. So yeah, keep those in mind and try and search for them. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Please leave a like if you want some more episodes of this and a series. Like I said, maybe if I be a team, try and build with youth and make the best youth team for the best players in the future. So yeah, if you want that, leave a like, your comments as well. And I'll see you guys next time.